Alright, we back. Hope this camera angle is not too bright. I hope it's right. I don't know. Alright, so we were discussing the LFOs and the filters and stuff. So, when the LFO is at the pulse width, that's the only thing it's going to specifically mess with. If it is put here, it's going to mess with filter cutoff. The different types of filters I've pretty much already explained. I didn't really go over bandpass radio because I think I've already explained how bandpass works. It's bandpass specific. That's why I called it the radio, because it reminds me of those old analog radios in cars that had the FM and the AM side to the radio. And I don't know, man. The comb plus and minus sometimes needs provoked with oscillator volume. And the PPG as well. Look, I'll show you that right now. I set up the PPG. Set the cutoff to like, I don't know, 95. Turn the PPG. Turn the resonance up to 113. We'll put a driver on it. So shut down the envelope. So we'll go to envelope 3, shut it down, decay and sustain 0. Alright. Go to mod source, set that to envelope, crank out the amount. And then FM source is going to have to be the same. Envelope 3 off. Alright, now, well, what we need to do, oops, I didn't mean to hit D10, I don't know what I'm on. Kill the saw wave. Hear that? I didn't turn the key tracking on, excuse me, 100. Hear that? Very low. Even with the drive and stuff, it's still low as hell. That's because it needs provoked. So what you do, you provoke a PPG, put a singing sword on it, and provoke it. I'll show you how to do it. A little bit of volume. You just add it in a little bit. Now I get a little creative, use the LFO that's already on oscillator 1, turn down to 7 or 8, set the start phase up to 0. Right. That's how it's provoked. Now, let's go to cone. Cone plus or something. Kill this oscillator. See? That's all you get is the pluck or the string plicking. You bring an oscillator on it. Now you get to those higher registries. When I was hitting keys, you heard nothing. But it's better to get into a little higher registry. With a little bit of speed on the LFO, you got to put a little bit of meth on it. And you got high speed chase. Alright, so like, yeah, that's what you do, provoke it. You guys have the Mimic, it's like a treasure box. The bite box is it when it's open and aggressive. Try it out. It's a modular module. The illusions. Alright. So that's how that plays out. Now, if you want to get into mod matrix with the LFO, wherever you set the LFO as a destination is what's going to affect. Like All right. You got it here. We got a pitch. See, that's how it works, man. Now I'm doing this for my homie because he wants to know how the shit's actually, what it's actually doing. But it's going in that direction. Okay, so as you heard the pitch going then back down. That's exactly what happened. Because it's only want to go to a certain level toward the amount, so the LFO is not all the way peaking all the way to the top. Because you had it peaked all the way to the top, this is what it would do. See? You have just won the game, my friend. You see? Sound like some Galaga or something crazy. Some arcade machine bullshit. So that's how that works, man. Now, filter sweeps, that's the same thing. You might want to put a filter on it, like a low pass resonant. Start here and take your LFO. You can go to the mod matrix. Get a filter 1 cutoff, because that's what we're on, filter 1, right? Go to filter 1 cutoff on as the destination. You add the LFO. Because what happened is, see it? Sweeps up. You know what I'm saying? But that would be the equivalent if you set the LFO to mod source and then plus 63. If you did that to here, mod source is the same thing because this is a modulation 1. If that's modulation source 1, okay, that's what you do. You would set that LFO would be the same set because that's a mod source. The amount is the same thing as the amount here. Now the destination specifically is equal. This one filter 1 cutoff and this LFO 1 is equivalent to if you sat it here and did this plus 63. That would be equivalent. Alright, but instead we have the driver here, the shutdown envelope, and plus 63, which is it creates the impulse. All right, so that's not how we do it, but we had this as a substitution or extra. Now, if you take that LFO, you might want to get a resonance. Well, that might be a heartbreaker or eardrum breaker, but in that case, let's turn it back up. See? So right now, what's happening is as the LFO is going up, the peak is going up like that, but you just can't see it. It's going up and down. The filter cutoff isn't moving because we don't have that set to that. We have it going to resonance, which on the resonance specific band would peak out, and that's where you get the articulation of the sound. Excuse me, air's dry here. I might cough. All right, so that's the PPG, and it's a resonant filter, so now you can get more out of it. Now, if you set it to FM, oscillator FM, and you added it in, you're going to want to add in another oscillator. In this case, okay, we're using a Mimic treasure box. If you guys play any RPGs, you are aware that mimics are very annoying. You have to use magic to kill them because physical attacks just make them more upset. I like the one in Saga Frontier Part 1. I never can get any of my monster characters to turn into that, to have the actual body for it. Whew, I wish I could. I never can though. Or get any of the special skills that it holds. Alright, so we have this going on here. So FM amount, we'll have to set a source up. And then it will bring it in. And that's the LFO. It's going to 01 FM. We have to set it in. Oh, it's very subtle. Listen. Listen, take the filter off. See how it starts adding it in? Now that's the FM source. Take the pulse width amount on 2 and negative it. See, now your LFO is doing 3 things. That single LFO is controlling this pulse width source, that pulse width source. It's also controlling FM source, but you have to add in the amount. Now this filter is a PPG now. We'll turn it to bandpass. Now let's take that same LFO and go to filter 1 cutoff. This is a simple exercise so my homie can understand what the LFOs are doing and my other homie can understand the filters, see? Same LFO, multiple functions. Now I'm not saying that's the best way to do it or that's the only way to do it. You can stretch out some stuff by having multiple destinations, having the same thing control different functions. But it is cooler when you, it's more cool when you have like different things doing different things. You know what I mean? Like LFO 2 has maybe a different speed or it might have pressure sensitivity and it does a little bit harder or on this FM amount and this doesn't control that. This only controls pitch or something like that. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. You have to like kind of mix and match it, but I don't want to get into those technical intricacies. Right now I just want to show basically what's happening. So as this LFO is going up and down, what's happening is the FM between these 2 oscillators is happening. And I'll turn it to a different one for better, we can hear it a little bit better with the sine. I'm going to make this go to resonance, excuse me. See? Now if I also wanted that LFO to go to something, I could have it go to F1 cutoff and move it just a tad. No reflection is not going on. Actually, we're driving the 2 oscillators just with this. There's no filter 2. That's bypassed. We're just using filter 1, and we're using the driver. We have the boombox set up just on filter 1. You can set the boombox up on filter 1. The only thing is if you do that, your FM source has to be the envelope 3, which creates the driver, which now means you cannot use oscillator FM. That's the only drawback, which is why I often set this filter up in that, or the oscillator FM. I said that's why I set it like that, like the radio, like I showed you on the diagram. This is the amplitude, and this is the amplitude modulation. This is the frequency modulation. That's why I set this one at last, because then I can still get oscillator FM, but I can still get the drive for amplitude modulation. And I mean, if that makes any sense to you guys, I hope it does. But like, I don't know. I'm trying to explain this shit the best way that I can. That's like my real struggle and goal here. I'm like worried that, not really worried, that I just really want you guys to get it. Because I know this is the type of stuff that's like, it's like itching you. It's like, damn man, what the fuck, how does this work? Okay, here, this is what I do. You know, I want to solve the problem. Because at one time I used to be like, how the fuck does this shit work? And you know what? I had no one to tell me. Not really. Not like that. I'm not going to say that. But I like my teachers for what they did. There were questions that I went to them and I asked, and they gave me silence. And that silence led me to the wilderness. Because that's where I was cast out to. Cast to the wolves. But I came back wearing the wolf skin. And I have a spear now. And they're proud. And that's what counts when you're in this type of stuff. That is what really counts. The fire and passion of devotion. The want to learn and utilize. The want to learn, retain, and apply. These are the things and the facets in which, you know, make learning such a great recreational activity. And then the application is even the more like the reward. Okay? So like and I'm pleased that I've come this far, because I can share this stuff with you guys. And I'll be more than happy to explain it. But I know that sometimes when I do explain it, it's a little bit over the top. But that's why you get to know me personally, and you get at me, walkie-talkie, we talk, we text, and then we bust it down. I mean, it's just that simple. So, you know, at the end of the day, this is how the LFOs and the filters are working. If you want to mess around with comb, then all the peaks would be increasing as the LFO would reach its peak. See? See, watch what I do. I'm gonna make the Blofeld laugh. It's like, I can't do all this stuff. Watch what I do. I'm gonna bust this thing down. LFO 2. Let me show you something. Then I'm out, y'all. I love to do synthesis. I love to make music. This shit's great. Yeah, man, it's about bad, man. So, you know what? Just gotta play with it. You gotta mess around with it. I told you, passion. You gotta be passionate about it, man. You gotta want to do it. You gotta love to do it. You gotta have a need to do it. I'm compelled to do it. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I will catch you on the flip. I hope this helps you understand LFOs, the mod matrix, and filters a little bit better. I'll be back. I have some stuff to do. I'll catch you.